There are a lot of immigrants in California. When people share their story and what they went through, believe it or not, it makes people want to connect with them better way, because they might share something in there. So it could be a link without even really knowing you in person. So it's about emotional connection. And one thing that I even did when I started is like, you cannot be everything for everybody. Jack of all trades is master of none. If you try to be everything for everybody, you're going to be nothing to nobody. You need to think about a target market, about a niche. When I started, I think my business card for the first 2 months said, global marketing and event planning. Wow. And now I'm doing something totally different. I have a very targeted niche. I have two halves of my business. One half of it is social media. So I'm targeting social media coaching and consulting for small businesses. And I only do social media networking and marketing. So I even broke down the social media into a very specific niche, and I also broke it down to a very specific industry. And this is the only way I'm reaching out. So I have an exact target market that I know how to talk to and how to attract. I cannot be for everybody, because I would be extending myself for nothing. So a brand is how people perceive us without talking. So for example, if you go to a store and you have two products that are the same thing, same ingredients or same product, and they are almost the same price, one of them is in a white box on the shelf, and the other one may be $1 more, but it has a colorful box with like all the bells and whistles, and it's only $1 more. Which one do you think you're going to buy?
Bells and whistles, huh?
Exactly. Because this is what attracts us. Because once we look at it, it makes us feel good. It makes us feel special. And that's why we pick it up even if it's $1 more. So it's about branding is about self-packaging. How we present ourselves to others. So it's about how to identify your unique qualities. And we're going to talk about that in a second. And your branding is your promise on what you're going to give or do to people. And it has to be across the board. Meaning if I fall on your website, it has to be the same branding on your blog. It has to be the same branding on your Facebook, on your Google+. It has to be across the board. If you use certain colors, you have to use the same colors all over. If you use a logo, it has to be the same logo all over. And for consulting and services, it has been proven that using your personal picture is better than using a logo. Because people will connect with the person better than they will connect with the logo. And use one picture across the board. And use one business name across the board. You don't know how many businesses I have seen having a name on their LinkedIn company page, a name on Twitter, a different name on Google, a different name on Facebook. How do you want people to recognize you? You're confusing them. So you need to have the same business name across the board. Even the colors that you use in your website, you need to think about them. Because different colors mean different things to people. So I highly suggest that you go home and Google the meaning of colors in marketing. For example, orange means sunshine, positive, emotion, connecting. Purple means royalty, loyalty. Powder blue is more if you're doing something, and there is a big difference if you market for females or males. Because the colors that speak to the females are different than the colors that speak to males. So you need to think about that too. So,
so what was the blue for?
The blue or the purple?
Blue.
Blue, it depends. Blue can be loyalty and can be royalty as well. But purple speaks more to women than blue speaks to women. But if you use powder blue, not dark blue, it speaks more to women. If you Google it, you will have like, they will give you all the colors. And yes, red can be passion, can be emotions, can be all that, but it also means anger and danger. And so you have to be very careful when you use, believe it or not. And I'm sure that you never thought about the colors, that it means anything. But it does mean things like the white, for example, in the Asian culture is kind of a sad color. And they use it when it's death and mourning, right?
Yeah.
But for example, I was born in Egypt. In Egypt, white means weddings, means brides, means purity and innocence. So depending on, again, the market that you are catering to, the colors can mean different things. So, and once we know that, at least we can think about it. So, okay, who has a website? You cannot have a business without a website. You cannot. Whatever we do whatever social media efforts that we do have to go and have a landing page on the website. And there is a difference between web hosting and web domain. Do we know the difference? Okay, a web domain, yes?
No, I know the difference, yes.
Okay. You can share. This is an interactive session. It's not a lecture. You can share. Okay, a website domain is your name, which is .com. And I highly suggest that you never take a .net or a .org or a .us or a .co. People do not look for these. So a domain name, meaning the name of your business. And always when you choose if you don't have a website and you're starting from scratch, that can even work better because now you're going to know something more. Use a keyword in that domain name. So if you are in finance, make sure to have finance in the domain name. And if the name is taken, play with it. Put LA finance something, or put your first name finance something. Always do the .com. A great place to look for domain name if they have been taken or not is GoDaddy, GoDaddy.com. And usually the domain names are around between $9.99 and $12.99 a year. So it's not a big investment. You have to have a domain name before someone else hijacks your name. And also GoDaddy, if you take it from GoDaddy, they will tell you, if you add .us, .net, .org, blah, 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 you'll add it for only $9.99. Don't do that because it's not going to help you. And make sure to get an email address on that domain name. You cannot, as a business, use a Gmail account or a Hotmail account or a Yahoo account. When I get a business that sends me an email with a generic or free email, I delete it without even looking at it. And I'm not the only one. That means you're not serious about your business, that you don't have a business, that it's a hobby. If you cannot invest $10 a year, people will not trust you with their money. And then there is web hosting. Web hosting is whoever keeps your website going. And there are different trades. The best ones and the easiest one to use are, believe it or not, Microsoft has a great website hosting. And the site to build your site on Microsoft is Office365.com. They charge $6.99 a month. And you can put videos, you can put as many pages as you want, you can edit it whenever you want. It's like you're using a document, a Windows document. It's very easy to do. You can do it yourself, so you don't have to go and pay $500 or $1,000 for someone to do your website. You can do it yourself. The same goes with GoDaddy. GoDaddy starts from $3.99 to $24.99, depending on what you want. You want an e-commerce or not. And GoDaddy have the difference between GoDaddy and Microsoft is that GoDaddy has a great customer service. And then you have the new upcoming web hosting is Wix, Wix.com. They are and they are reasonable in price. And all this money that you pay, remember, is tax deductible. You need expenses, but you need to make money to deduct these expenses at the end of the year. Even if it's $100 that you make a year, you can deduct whatever you have as expenses. And you know what? It's an investment in your company, it's an investment in your future. So you need to have a website, again, with a domain name. You have on every single page of the website, the font. I see font that is 8-point size. You can't have that. People, if they can't read, they will move away. They will bounce from your website. So make it at least, and when you use a font, do not use a font like Times Roman. It's what we call serif font. You have to use fonts that are easy to the eye, like Arial, like Verdana, like Tahoma. And use them 12-point. And make sure that you leave a space between the lines so the lines will not be cramped. All that makes a difference because it's your brand. Add pictures, add videos on your website. I know that will come later on. On every single page on your website, you have what we call a call to action. People will come to your website and will say, oh, nice. If you don't tell them what to do, they will move away. You need to tell people what to do. Call us for a quote. Call us for a free consultation. Join our newsletter. You have to tell them what to do. It has to be at the bottom of every single website page because you don't know who's going to get to your website from which page. And you have to have your social media icons on every single page. Again, because you don't know who's going to go to your website from which page. And when you use the social media icons, use the actual logos. Don't use the little black ones because the eye does not recognize it. So it's not going to help you, okay? And then, yes?
What logos?
Social media icons.
Oh, in the colors.
In the colors, like we are used to them. Like LinkedIn is the IN in a powder blue thing. You know, Facebook is the F and so on. Okay?
So, can you explain again what the CTA and...
CTA is call to action. And you have to have it. And make sure your best foot is forward. Because when someone opens a website, the first thing they read is the top part because it's what's on your screen. Again, put yourself in the customer's shoes. When you open someone's site, what do you see? The first, so you have to put your best foot forward in there. Okay? So now, branding has to tell a story, and the story is your USP. Your USP meaning your unique selling proposition. You'll be surprised that maybe 98% of small business owners do not know what is your value proposition or what is your unique selling proposition. What is it that you do that no one else does? Why should I come to you and not come to the next person? You have to convince me in 2 or 3 sentences, why should I use you and not use someone else? Bless you.
Thank you.
So think about that. You need, even your passion is part of your USP. I have a customer that is a brilliant architect. And when I told him, so what stands out about you? He told me, I'm an architect like everybody else. That's already, they're already failing themselves. Okay? So you need to know what you stand for. Okay, you have this on your slide, so. This is the social media landscape, and as you see, it's very noisy. So we need to know how to deal with it. The first thing that you do is to secure your brand name. And securing your brand name meaning that you have to claim your business name on all the social media networks, even the ones that you don't use. And there is a site for that called Knowen. It's KNOWEM.com. And what you do, you go into that search box and you put your business name, no spaces. If you put a space between the words, it will not give you any results. What it happens will give you if it's available on all, or it's not available on the sites. Go and claim your name on every single site because that helps your ranking on Google. And I suggest that you take a document and you do it once in the beginning and then you don't have to worry about it. Write a profile about your company that is a paragraph, and then summarize this paragraph into 140 characters. Okay? And keep it, save it on your hard disk. So whenever you are building a new profile on any social media network, you just copy and paste. You don't have to go from scratch. You're lost.
Is that free?
It's free. Everything I'm going to give you today is free. There are always paid versions for what I give you, but you don't need them. You will just have to spend the time to do it.
Why do we need to do this?
So it will help you with your digital portfolio and your presence online. You need to have a social media presence, right? That's what is going to help you.
So when people Google our name,
You come up. And even if you don't use, because you're not going to use all the social media networks, but at least you have a profile on every single one of them. Okay? It's a lot of work, but it has to be done.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost. What's the best way that we, to register our brand name in all the major websites? It goes to what? Is Noem?
You go to noone.com,
And
and then there is a search box. You put your business name, no space, and this will come out, and it will tell you if it's available or not. There are sites like Twitter that can take only 14 characters of your name. It might tell you it's too long. So you need to become creative and kind of shorten it. Abbreviate it, yes. Okay? And when you go on Twitter, and we're going to talk about Twitter too, do not put dashes in the middle, and do not do underscores, and do not put numbers in the name, because they are not searchable. You will not show in searches if you have an underscore or a dash or a number in your username. You can use it for personal, but not for business, yes.
so this is only in Google. So what if in Yahoo?
This is for everything.
Oh,
This is for internet search,
okay.
not only for Google. We talk about Google because Google is 80% of the search engine.
Yeah.
So, yes.
What's the difference between Noem.com and GoDaddy?
They have nothing in common.
Okay, so this is...
Noem is to register for your social media networks. GoDaddy is for your domain name and for hosting and your email address, yes.
When you register here, you say you have to do the paragraph, or your business name is fine, just to start?
You can have only the business name, but that's not really going to help you. You need to have profiles, and you just do it once. Spend the time to think about your profile. And in your summary or your bio or your whatever profile of a company, you need to think about your unique selling proposition. And that's what you need to use.
So the profile is on your business, not your personal, like who you are.
You are, if you are an owner and the business is you, you are the business and the business is you. Remember that. So you need to put part about what you do, who you are, and then the business, what it is. You have to connect them. Remember we talked about that? That you are part of the value proposition. Yes, sir.
The question was, when you go into Noem, do you copy paste your paragraph into here?
Yeah, you go to like here, for example, Foursquare or Squidoo or even YouTube is available. So you click on the YouTube and it will take you to a YouTube generic page where you register, you claim your profile. Okay? You have to claim your profile. If not, someone can come and hijack your business name and then you are at loss because you didn't do what you had to do.
How do we know if it's already out there?
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll
It
come
will
up.
tell you it's not available or it's too long. It will tell you. Yes.
When you claim your name, somebody has it. And you have, for example, I have YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, I have my business, but somebody else has a Twitter name with my business. Can I claim it directly with Twitter?
Well, I don't think that Twitter will let you have the same exact name for business. It will tell you it's already in use.
Oh, okay. How about Facebook? Is
Same
there a
thing.
way to claim it?
Same.
No?
You can claim it through here, but if someone else has it already, meaning they claimed it, so you are at loss. That's why you need to go and claim all your profiles.
Well, I know on domain names, there's companies that go out there and just buy domain names just to sell. So sometimes you can buy them.
Yeah, for a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why?
Yeah.
You
So-
can add,
So what you're making is a good point here. When you name your business, you should be doing this.
and you know what you can do? You can, if the name of your business has been taken or a company owns it, put your first name, then the rest of the company name. Put LA, your company name. You know, play with it. Because there is no way that someone will have the name of this company with your first name before it. No way. You know what I mean? So just play with it, yes.
So are these all of the companies that you can use, or are there any more companies? I mean, or
They're all here. All are no one. All are in no
So
one.
whatever we see over there is okay.
Yes.
Excuse me,
Yes.
did you say why we should not use .NET?
Yeah, because no one will look for .NET. And it doesn't rank high on the search engines. And then define your audience. You need to know who you're catering to. You cannot go and market for the whole wide world because it will fall on deaf ears. So you have to target who is your audience. You have to know where they are, you have to know what they want. So to give them what they need. And then remember we said about psychographics, about people, how they feel. So in order for you to know how your audience feels, you have to listen to what they're saying, right? So there are ways where you can actually spy on them online to know what they're saying. So the first thing to do is Google Alerts. And Google Alerts look like this. This is a Google Alert. So it's google.com/alerts. You can have up to 50 alerts that are free. So the alerts that you should have will be an alert for your name, for your business name, for your industry, and for everything you need to know what people are talking about. So if you have, you can have for user the finance, you can have alert for financing, you can have alert for currency exchange, you have to have an alert for global currency. What happened, and then you tell them that you need it on your email address and you create alert one by one. What happens is that Google, every single morning, if anyone in the whole wide world talked about these keywords, they will send you an email with all the links that people talked about.
Oh. What come in meanings, if not meanings? I mean, how are we going to filter them out and organize?
Well, usually there are 2-3 per keyword a day. You need to look at them to know, because if you don't know what your customer wants from you, how are you going to give them what they need?
Oh, okay. So it's very critical that we choose this.
Yes, that you
15
listen,
keywords.
that you listen to people. And sometimes you can put it, you can have an alert for your competition. So you know what's working for them.
And this works on social media as well?
This actually is social media.
The alert.
The alert will pull websites, will put articles, will pull blogs. It's great. You can listen actually to whatever people want. Instead of going into like a dark, big forest without having any light. The alerts are kind of light to lead your way.
That
And-
would be a whole bunch of messages coming in.
Don't start with the negative. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Whenever we start something, oh my God, I don't have the time for this. Remember what I said in the beginning. You need to succeed, you have to pay your dues. It's not, there are no shortcuts. Yes.
Now, you get a report in email saying, what is in that report? Links to the websites people are
That
using?
speak. So for example, what industry are you in?
High-rise window maintenance.
High-rise, so window treatment? Is it window treatment?
Some restoration,
So if
window
you-
cleaning, basically.
Okay, so you have an alert, you do an alert for window treatment. You do an alert for high-rise window cleaning. You do an alert for window training. Believe it or not, you can have articles on people looking for what you're offering.
Now, does that show me their emails? So I can contact them?
They will show you who they are. You can Google them and get their website. And
Who
then
they-
contact them.
Who they are in terms of, it doesn't show their email where I can contact them?
It's an article. They might have their email address if it's an advertising part. If not, you Google who they are, you go to their website, and you go to their contact us page. There is always a way. You have to be creative in you have to know how to find contacts.
Yes.
You know, yes.
When you set up the alerts, is it recommended that you just use single words or
2 words or as long as you want?
I have social media marketing. I have small business social media marketing. You know, I have a lot of them. Okay, and usually, sometimes you don't have any a day, especially if you go very specific. And sometimes you have 2 or 3 per alert. You know, you look at them. You know, first of all, it will educate you on your industry, because if you get stagnant in status quo, you're not going to advance. So you have to be on top of whatever is going on. This is the only way to succeed. Do you think, when you are in school and you have to take a test, is it the same result if you study or you don't study?
No.
So you need to study. Yes.
In my experience, I have Google Alert, and also I put events that I want to be part of it. If you want to be in an expo or you want to be at a trade show, you can Google that. You can set up that in Google
Yes, you can.
Alert, and you can meet people. You can go network.
Absolutely.
Any part of your company that be related with that part of work, you can receive press release. You can receive like she said, the way it's very helpful.
It's very important. This is the basics of social media marketing, is to listen to your customers what they want. If not, you're gonna be just talking in the air. No one will listen. So, and also there is Twitter. And we're gonna go to Twitter, how you can do search on Twitter to find what you want. And then there is the hashtag buttons. Now, it started with Twitter. Does anyone know what hashtag button is? No, okay. Hashtag button turns words that you use people to find you under to keywords. And when you put a hashtag button, no space between them and the word, like for example, if I put, for example, this, window treatment, I mean, I'm not writing the whole word. With no space here and no space here, it becomes a keyword, like a blue link. If someone clicks on it, it will pull everything that is said about Windows treatment. And this way, people can find you when they look for window treatment. We're going to go through that in details. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're not going to leave here without knowing what's all that. And then there is the RSS feeds. Do we know what RSS feeds are? This is the RSS feed. I'm sure that all of us saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
RSS means really simply syndicated. So it's content that comes to you without you looking. Like for example, if you go to a blog or an article, like if you go to Forbes, okay, or Inc.com, and you have an article that you like for a certain author, okay, or a certain blogger, you can click on the RSS feed, so it will come to your mailbox without you looking for it the next time, and the next time, and the next time. So it will actually save you time. That's the RSS feed. The content will come to you instead of having to search for it.
So it's really
Simply syndicated. Clarify your message and then have calls. We talked about this. Okay, how can you be a business part of the social media marketing? Now we finished the base, we're going through the real planning of social media marketing. The first thing is to know who your audience is. This is the most important thing. You have to know your target market, and you have to protect your brand against hijacking. And that's why you go to NOAM and have it. And that's why we say, by the way, that Google or even the internet is a reputation management tool. That's why you have your alerts. That's why you Google your name. You know, if you want to know, find anybody. If you want to find a client, if you want to find someone, there are 2 sites that you can find people if they have anything online. One of them is pipl.com, and the other one is socialmention.com. And they're both pipl.com and socialmention.com. So you identify your audience, and then you start listening to what they want, what problems they have, what is it that you can offer them. And you can do that through, like we said, alerts, through RSS feed, and then Social Buzz and Backtype. All these are paid solutions, but I have to put it for you just in case you need it. The way you search on Twitter, you don't have even to be on Twitter to search for Twitter. It's search.twitter.com. You don't have to be actually signed in on Twitter to find what you're looking for. And the best part about Twitter is that it's real-time search. That's why it's even better than Google. Meaning whatever is happening now. So if you search, you go search.twitter.com high-rise window cleaning or window cleaning, because high-rise window cleaning is kind of a long tail keyword. If you go window treatment, and you put a zip code or no zip code, when you put that on the Google, it will pull for you all the conversations that are happening right now on Twitter about window cleaning. So you can actually engage the people in a conversation, real time.
Search Twitter.com. It's just like Google alerts?
No, search Twitter will take you, it's the same if you use Google looking for something. If you put search.twitter.com and you put window cleaning, it will pull for you all the conversations that are going right now on Twitter, this minute. So you can actually engage these people in a conversation.
So it's kind of like a digital eardropping.
Yes.
Spying. Yes.
Spying. Yes. I don't have a problem saying that. Okay, and then, so you identify, you listen, and then you start engaging them. And you engage them through your social media network. So you comment on blogs, on articles, you go on groups on Facebook and Google, and you build relationships on LinkedIn. You start engaging people. And the last thing that you do is to promote yourself by pulling people to you, by showing them the expertise that you have, by showing them your credibility. And online, remember one word, help. Help, 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 help others without expecting anything in return. And it will come back to you. The more, and people, sometimes I hear it a lot, are scared, oh, I don't want to share everything I know because someone else can use it. Actually, the more you put online, the more it helps people trusting you. And they know that you're doing well. I mean, if you go into my blogs or if you go, LinkedIn had Q&A sessions, I used to answer these questions like if they were paid clients. And this is how I raised my profile as being what we call an authority in what I do. You need to become an authority in your field, and that's how people are going to trust you. And it's a lot easier now to do that through social media. It will, if you do it properly from today, in 3 to 6 months, you're going to establish yourself as a credible source and authority in what you do. But you need to pay your dues. Yes?
Is there a similar search under LinkedIn, or do you have to sign on to LinkedIn to search?
You have to be on LinkedIn to find anything on LinkedIn. I mean, whatever is on LinkedIn, you can look at it on Google, but you cannot really look at the profiles unless you are on LinkedIn. Yes?
And you said, we gotta help people to be like an authority, and that might bring in more customers as a result.
Absolutely.
Because
they know what you're doing. They know that you know what you're doing.
And then they'll ask you, a provider, a supplier, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That can help
You
us.
pull yourself, I know you missed the beginning of the session. You need to pull people to you by offering your expertise and credibility.
Yeah, but by the same token, we might, fearlessly or inevitably expose ourselves to competition or, our competitors probably are doing the same thing, kind of Twitter or...
And your competitors are exposing themselves too. And whoever is not exposing them, okay, you can share what you know. What industry are you in?
Well, I'm currently working as an office assistant to a real estate broker.
Okay, you know what? You can put whatever you want about real estate broker because you go to sites and they have in details, because I have few clients in the finance brokerage part. They put all the details. What will matter is your personal engagement with that client. It won't matter if you put everything online and your competition, because let's face it, the basics of brokerage or mortgage or whatever are the same everywhere. The basics of window treatments are the same everywhere. The basics of social media marketing are the same everywhere. It's how you deliver it that makes a difference. Do you have a passion for it? Do you care for your clients? Are you going the extra step for them? Are you giving more value, what we call value added? You know, are you giving them more than what they ask for? Do they feel that you're honest and you want to help them, or you're just after a buck? All this makes a difference. Yes?
Plus, we can be careful of who we're speaking to, too. I mean, if it's a direct customer.
Yeah, but if it's a blog, that you put online, anyone can read it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't say who it's coming from.
It will say who it's coming from, but everybody can read it, even your competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're doing the same. You're searching for your competition. So expect them to do the same, and it's okay. It's okay. Because if you don't have enough information about what you do, if you don't show that you know what you're doing, you're shooting yourself in the foot. As easy as that. It's a huge market. And again, I said that we are in an overflow of information. The only thing that will stand out if you connect emotionally with your client. If you connect emotionally and engage them in a conversation where they feel that they want to deal with you as a person. It's all about human relationships. So there is etiquettes online, what we call netiquettes. So you have to have a human voice, you have to be polite, you have to respect others, you have to be transparent, you cannot lie, because if you lie, people will find out that you lie. You have to be authentic, you have to help people. And when on a business account, do not ever speak about religion or politics. No one cares except you. And you can actually alienate people. You can tell me, oh, we have freedom of speech. Absolutely, go ahead. But the clients also have a freedom of speech and freedom of thinking. So you might alienate people from your business. Do whatever you want in your personal accounts. But make sure that your personal accounts and your business accounts are totally separate. Like for example, on my Facebook business account, my own husband is not on my business Facebook. And on my personal Facebook page, I have it so tight that if someone goes on Facebook and looks for me as a person, they will not find me. Because I have nieces and nephews that are young and they like to do stupid things, you know, and they share it. I don't want to share it with my clients. So you have to be careful. It's reputation. Yes?
How do you do that? How do you set
Is
it
that
up?
way?
I'll show you.
To have private.
We'll go to Facebook and I'll show you. Through settings. Settings. There is always, in any social network you go, there is always a wheel on the top. And if you click on that wheel, it has a drop-down menu that has settings. And settings always have privacy options. Always. Any social media networks across the board. So that's why it's important to know your privacy parameters. Because people are scared. They say, oh, everybody's going to see it. No, it really depends who you put what where. So build relationship, and social networking is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. These are the social mostly used. LinkedIn, Facebook, blogs, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn, blogs, Twitter, and a little bit about Facebook, like I said. So the first thing, does anyone need a break, or should we go? Okay.
Just parking.
Anyone wants to do the parking? Okay. Okay. LinkedIn. Why do we care about LinkedIn? Who is B2B here in the room? Meaning business to business. Okay. And who's B2C? And most of you are in services, right? Like consulting, more or less, right? Okay. So LinkedIn should become your first social media network that you should care about. You are never going to be on all of the social media networks, all of them. You're going to expand yourself then. So you need to know to decide which networks to use. And choose 3 or 4 max. Max. What I personally use, I use LinkedIn, I use blogging, YouTube, and a little bit of Twitter. I have a presence on Facebook, but just a presence. And I have a presence on Pinterest. That's it. I don't go anywhere else. I don't play with Instagram, and I don't play with whatever it is, you know. I am totally directed to where my audience is. So that's why I don't lose my time. So LinkedIn has 225 million members. It's the only professional-based network that exists of today. All the Fortune 500 companies are there, and the beauty of LinkedIn is that when you connect with someone, you can reach them directly if they are a decision maker without going through gatekeepers. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, there is something that we call 3 degrees of separation. What that means? That means that it's based like in a pyramid. So you see next to names numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, right? I know a lot of people are not on LinkedIn here. So next to the name, there are numbers. First means that you are a direct contact of that person. Second, that you are a connection of a connection. Third, that you are a connection of a connection of a connection. So it's 3 degrees of separation. And the beauty of it is that not only your first degree contact, but your third degree contact. So for example, you can have 500 direct contacts, first contact, but your network is actually over 5 million. It's like MLM. It's like the pyramids for marketing, you know? It's like the more connections that you have, the more network that you have. And if someone is in your network, you can actually connect to them through an introduction or through looking for them and sending them an invite. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. Who has 100 connections on LinkedIn? Who has 200? 300? 400? 500? Good. There are 2 magical numbers on LinkedIn. 50 and 500. Do we know the difference?
No.
Okay, we're going to go through that. Establish yourself in groups and use feed. And remember, on LinkedIn, your network is your net worth. And a lot of people, and I have a lot of resistance from people. Why should I connect to someone that I don't know? Because you don't know who's your network. You don't know if a client that you have been looking for the last 6 months is their third contact that can connect you to. You know, there is the magic number of 500 is why on LinkedIn, because after 500, the maximum number of connections you can have on LinkedIn is 30,000. The minute you reach 500, your connection numbers will show 500 plus. And people have a tendency to trust more the people that have 500 connections. So till you reach 500 connections, accept every single invite that comes to you. Then you can be choosy. Just get to that 500 number. Okay? So, how to use LinkedIn? LinkedIn has different degrees on how you fill your profile. You always have to look to reach what we call an all-star profile. How do you reach an all-star profile? You have to upload your picture. Your picture has to be a headshot, professional headshot. It cannot be your dog. It cannot be your children. It cannot be a holiday family picture. You cannot have a hat. Unless someone wears something on their head for religious beliefs. This is a different story. Because these are against LinkedIn terms of services. They will take your picture down. And if they take your picture down for 3 times, you're not going to be able to put a picture. And it has been proven through LinkedIn research that 7 out of 10 people will not look at your profile if you don't have a picture.